Hello Year 6, welcome to your maths video for Tuesday. We are doing a beat it challenge for our starter today. So I've got you your 5 questions on the board. So remember, whatever time you gave yourself last week, you could reduce that a little bit if you got full marks, or if you didn't quite get full marks, you could do the same time and see how many more you can get today. Okay, so you could maybe see if you could do it in a minute today. That would be quite a challenge, wouldn't it? So let's have a look at the questions then. So the first one is 0.5 times 6. Okay, so for that one then, you can use your known facts. So you all, I know, already know what 5 times 6 is. So have a think what you've done to 5 to get to 0.5 and do the same to your answer. This one then is 1,500 divided by 3. Again, you can use your known facts. Forget the zeros are there. You know what 15 divided by 3 is, and then add your zeros back on. Number 3 then is round 1,345 to the nearest 100. Okay, so find your hundreds digit, look at the one next to it. Does it need to be rounded up, or does it need to stay the same? Number 4 then is 20% of 20. We went over percentages at the beginning of, last week. So remember to find 20%, find 10%, multiply it by 2. And then this last one is a greater than or less than question. So you need to decide whether in this box you need a greater than, a less than, or an equal sign. Okay, so you've got 40% and 4/10. Are they equal? If they are equal, pop an equal sign in. If not, pop your greater than or less than sign facing the biggest one. Okay, so that's your quick challenge to start with. Okay, so don't forget to take a quick picture of your beat it challenge and include it with your work for today. Okay, so we are carrying on with some algebra in maths today because you're all doing an absolutely brilliant job, but I don't think we're quite secure yet. So we're carrying on and we're moving on today to pages 46 and 47. And your learning question today is, can I use formulas written in words? Okay, now please don't panic. It's not as hard as you might think. So let's have a look at some of the questions. So question 1 on page 46 says the formula to calculate the height of a baby micro giraffe is given below. And this is the formula that you've been given. So the height, which is in centimetres, is worked out by doing 8 times the age, so the amount of days they've been alive, plus 50. Okay, so that's how they work it out. So then it says, how tall was the micro giraffe when it was born? Okay, so if it's just being born, it's not been alive for any days. So it's going to be 0 days old. Okay, so the 8 stays the same. So it's going to be 8 times 0, add the 50. Okay, and that will give you your answer. Okay, so think about what 8 times 0 is, add 50 on. Okay, so you do that one to finish that question off. Then this one says, the micro giraffe was born on the 20th of September. How tall was the giraffe on the 5th of October? So before you can work that out, you need to work out how many days old it is. So if it was born on the 20th of September, and now it's the 5th of October, you've got to work out how old it is. I'm going to tell you, little hint, there are 30 days in September. I'm just going to put sept, so you know what I mean. Okay, so there are 30 days in September. So work out now then how many days you've got left till the end of September, how many days into October, add them together, and then go back to your formula. So you'll do 8 times, and then however old it is, pop it there, add the 50 on, and that will give you your answer. Okay? Just remember, there are 30 days in September, and that will help you. Question 2 then says, Ahmed is carrying a bag of gooseberries from the shop to his house. When he leaves the shop, there are 50 gooseberries Let's highlight that because that's important. In the bag. For every mile that he walks, he drops 3 gooseberries and eats 2 gooseberries. Okay. So your question is asking you to write a word formula for the number of gooseberries left in the bag after Ahmed has walked any number of miles. Okay. So, first of all, so he started with 50. He's losing 3 every mile, and he's also losing 2 every mile. So let's do 3 add 2 and put it together. So, okay, so he's losing 5 gooseberries every mile. So he walks 1 mile, he's lost 5. He's dropped 3 and he's eaten 2. So 5 have gone. Okay, so he's got 5 less every time he walks a mile. Okay, he must be very clumsy. So if I said to you, how many gooseberries, so if he lost a goose, this is after 1 mile. If I said to you, how many gooseberries did he lose after 4 miles, what would you do? You'd do 5 times 4, wouldn't you? Okay, so, and that's how many miles. Okay, so that's going to help you to start to write your formula. So we started with 50. Okay, so that's the start of your formula. And then we can do brackets because we know that when we do brackets, brackets always come first. Okay, we know that he's dropping 5 every mile. So it's going to be 50 times something. Okay, and remember what we were multiplying by. We're multiplying by the amount of miles, weren't we? So that's what you'd write there. Okay, so your answer would be 50 take away 5 times miles walked, or 5 times the amount of miles, something like that. Okay, the next part of your question then says, how many miles will it be before there are no gooseberries left in the bag? Okay, so you're going to use that same formula that you've just used. Okay, so we don't know what this is because that's what we're being asked. You just need to work out now what that missing number is. Okay, so you just basically need to do that. 50 divided by 5, and that will give you your answer. Just double check it works. Whatever number you write in here, just double check that 50 take away that, 5 times whatever it is, equals 0. Okay, because that's what we want to know, isn't it? How many miles before he's got 0 gooseberries? Okay, so that's page 46. On page 47 then, question 3, it says, Tamal makes this pattern sequence out of matchstick. So you've been given pattern 1, pattern 2 and pattern 3. Then it says, complete the formula below to describe this sequence. So just before you do that, I've got a tip for you. I want you to go along and count how many matchsticks are in each pattern. So in that one, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and in this one, there's 1, 2, 3. So let's go around the edge first. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 in the middle. There's 7 in that pattern. And then in this one, we'll go around the edge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 in the middle. 9, 10. Okay, and that's going to help you with your question today. So your question says, complete the formula below to describe this sequence. So this is going to be a little bit of trial and error. Okay, so it's saying the number of matchsticks equals something times the pattern number, add 1. So your pattern number is, for example, pattern 1, the pattern number is 1. Pattern 2, the pattern is 2. Pattern 8, the pattern number would be 8. Okay, so I'm just going to start with 1 and see what happens. So number of matchsticks equals 1 times the pattern number, add 1. So I'm starting with 1. So 1, the 1 in my head, times the pattern number is 1. So 1 times 1 is 1. Add 1 is 2. But I need 4. So that's not going to work. Okay, let's try 2. So 2 would be in this box. So 2 times pattern number 1. So 2 times 1 is 2. Add 1 is 3. It's not 4. So that's not going to work. So let's try 3. So 3 times 1 is 3. Add the 1 is 4. So that does work, but then you've got to check it works for your other patterns as well. So for example, this one. So if you have a 3 in this box, 3 times, your pattern number is 3, so 3 times 3 is 9. Add the 1 is 10. It works, so it must be 3. Okay? Then, down here, it says, how many matchsticks will there be in the 20th pattern? Now, you haven't got to draw out all of your matchsticks and all of your patterns because you can just use this formula. Okay? So, you're starting with 3 again because it's always 3. You're going to do 3 times. If we're doing the 20th pattern, you need to do 3 times 20, add your 1 on, and that will give you your answer. Okay? The next question then says, Tamal has 100 matchsticks. He says he'll be able to make every pattern from 1 to 8. Is he correct? Explain your answer. Now, I've popped the formula back up here at the top that we've just worked out because you're going to need that to help you with this question. So remember, your formula was 3 times the pattern number, add 1. Okay? Now, the way that I think you should do this is to draw yourself a table. Okay, so you can do this on a piece of paper, on a scrap piece of paper, in your purple book, wherever you want, on a whiteboard if you've got one. Okay, and we want to know if he can make the patterns 1 to 8. So here I've popped pattern number, and I've gone all the way down to 8, down here. Okay, and then we're going to use our formula to work out how many matchsticks is in each. Okay, so remember our formula was 3 times the pattern number, add 1. So 3 times 1 is 3, add 1 is 4. Okay, forget about this end one for now. We don't need to worry about that yet. 2 times 3, so sorry, start with 3. 3 times 2 is 6, add your 1 is 7. I mean, we already know these first 3, don't we, from our top? So let's pop 10 in there. Okay, so remember, 3 times 4 is 12, add 1 is 13. And you see a pattern here, so you could just keep going. So 3 times 5 is 15, add the 1 is 16. Okay, and then down this side, just put a column for a running total. Okay, and that's just to add them up as you go. So you started with 4, so we'll start with 4. 7 add 4 is 11. 10 add 11 is 21. So add it on. So 21 add 13 and then keep going. And that will tell you at the end how many matchsticks he has used. Rather than at the end having to add them all up together, if you keep a running total, that just makes it a little bit easier. Okay, and remember, he only has 100 matchsticks. So when you get down to number 8, down here, however many he's used here, if he's used less than 100, then he's correct. He can do it. But if he's used more than 100, then he won't be able to, will he? Because he won't have enough matchsticks. Okay? So you continue that then and have a go at that question. Then you have got your challenge question at the bottom of page 47. And it says, to find the perfect number of oranges to put in a fruit salad, you need to multiply the number of apples used by 3, divide the number of grapes used by 5, and then add these two numbers together. Write a formula to work out the number of oranges needed. Okay, so for this one then, you need to apply what we've done on these 2 pages of working out how to write a formula. So look at your information really, really carefully. If I was you, I would go through and highlight your important information and then have a go at writing the formula. It says if there are 10 oranges in the fruit salad, how many apples and grapes could there be? So for that one, you need to use the formula that you've just written to help you work that question out. Okay, so have a good go at that for me. Don't forget to take a picture of your challenge question as well. Good luck with all of your maths work for today. I really look forward to seeing how you get on. I'm sure you'll all be absolutely fine if you take your time and try your best. Okay, I will see you all tomorrow.